Dear students, today I am going to discuss about a topic on fiber optics. The fiber optics is included in your undergraduate courses under different universities of India, and the topic includes introduction, basic principle of fiber optics, structure of optical fiber, classification of optical fibers, acceptance angle and numerical aperture, ray path in index fiber, intermodal dispersion in a step index fiber, advantages of fiber optic communication, and lastly, applications.
With the advancement of semiconductor laser and optical fibers, a new branch of science and technology is developed which is known as fiber optics. Fiber optics is a technology related to transportation of optical energy in guiding medium, specifically glass fiber called optical fiber. Like conventional metallic cable, any electrical signal in the optical form can be sent from one end to the other end over a wide bandwidth with the help of optical fiber. Now, what is an optical fiber? An optical fiber is a very thin hair-like flexible medium of cylindrical shape made up of glass or clear plastic. Optical fiber guides the light waves along its length by total internal reflection. Next, structure of optical fiber. Optical fiber is cylindrical in shape. It consists of three coaxial regions: core, cladding, and protective buffer coating. The innermost cylindrical region is called core and is made up of glass or plastic. It is the light guiding region of the fiber. The core is surrounded by another region called cladding, and it is also made up of glass or plastic. The refractive index of cladding is lower than that of core. Therefore, cladding helps to keep the light within the core. The outermost region of an optical fiber is the buffer coating. It is made up of plastic or polymer coated over the cladding, which provides physical and environmental protection for the fiber. The propagation of light in an optical fiber from one of its end to the other end is based on the principle of total internal reflection. When light enters one end of the optical fiber, it undergoes successive total internal reflections from outer surface and travels down the length of the fiber along a zigzag path. Light can travel through the fiber even if it is bent. Now, what is total internal reflection? We divide it from refraction. When a ray of light passes from an optically denser medium to a rare medium, it is bent away from the normal in the rare medium. If N1 and N2 are refractive index of the denser medium and rare medium respectively, and theta 1 and theta 2 are the angle of incidence and angle of refraction respectively, then from Snell's law, sin theta 1 equal to n1 by n2 sin theta 2. Here n1 is greater than n2. With increase of angle of incidence, the refracted ray bend more and more away from the normal. At some particular angle of incidence, say theta c, the refracted ray glides along the boundary surface so that angle of refraction is 90 degree. At an angle greater than theta c, there are no refracted rays, but all rays are reflected back into the denser medium. The phenomenon in which light is totally reflected from the interface of the denser medium to rarer medium interface is known as total internal reflection. The angle here theta c is called critical angle, and its value can be determined from Snell's law as sin theta c equal to n2 by n1. Thus, for total internal reflection, it should satisfy two conditions. One, the light should incident from optically denser medium to rarer medium, and the angle of incidence should be more than critical angle for that medium. Next, how light propagates through an optical fiber. The light rays entering the fiber from air at a small angle gets refracted and strike the core cladding interface at different angles. As the refractive index of the cladding is less than that of the core, majority of the rays undergoes total internal reflection at the interface, and the angle of reflection is equal to the angle of incidence in each case. Due to cylindrical symmetry in the fiber structure, the rays reflected from an interface on one side of the fiber axis will suffer total internal reflection at the interface on the opposite side also. Thus, the rays travel forward through the fiber via a series of total internal reflection and emerge out from the exit in of the fiber. Because of negligible loss during total internal reflection, optical fiber can carry the light waves over very long distances. Consider an optical fiber with core of refractive index N1 and cladding of refractive index N2. Say light is incident from air. The incident ray 1 undergoes refraction at air core interface and then again refracted at the core cladding interface. Finally, it emerges out of the fiber into air. That means the ray does not propagate through the fiber. Let us consider ray 2. The ray incident at an angle theta c undergoes refraction at air core interface and propagates at an angle theta naught in the fiber and incident on the core cladding interface at the critical angle phi c. Now the ray 3 incident with an angle theta I less than theta naught exits the critical angle for core cladding interface and is totally internally reflected and confined to the fiber and propagates through the fiber. The ray incident at the core cladding interface at the critical angle phi c is called critical ray. Here, ray 2 is the critical ray and the angle phi c is called critical propagation angle. Thus, the rays with angle of incidence larger than theta naught will not propagate in the fiber. The maximum angle of incidence theta naught at the in phase for which the light ray is totally reflected at core cladding interface is called acceptance angle. Thus, only those rays that are incident on the face of the fiber making angles less than theta naught will undergo repeated total internal reflection and propagate through the fiber core and reach the other end of the fiber. The light rays contained within the cone having a full angle twice theta naught are accepted and transmitted along the fiber. Thus, the cone of the full angle twice theta naught is called acceptance cone. Now, the sine of critical angle is equal to N2 by N1. Thus, cos of critical angle is equal to 1 by N1 under root N1 square minus N2 square. For acceptance angle, theta I equal to theta naught, and for air, N naught equal to 1, and then we get the acceptance angle as theta naught equal to sine inverse of under root N1 square minus N2 square. Thus, the acceptance angles for a particular optical fiber depends on the refractive indices of the core and cladding respectively. Obviously, larger acceptance angle make it easier to launch light into the fiber. Light incident at an angle beyond it refract through the cladding and the corresponding optical energy is lost. The figure of merit of the fiber is measured by the amount of light that can be accepted by the fiber. Thus, the acceptance angle is a measure of the light gathering capacity of the fiber and is interpreted in terms of numerical aperture of the fiber. The numerical aperture is defined as the sine of the acceptance angle. Thus, numerical aperture is equal to under root N1 square minus N2 square. On the basis of refractive index profile, the optical fibers are basically classified into two categories, step index and gated index fibers. In the step index fiber, the core has a constant refractive index from center of the core to the boundary with the cladding and abruptly falls to a lower value of the core cladding boundary. On the basis of mode of propagation, there are two types of step index fibers, multi-mode step index fiber and single mode or monomode step index fiber. Multi-mode step index fiber is a step index fiber with a larger diameter core of uniform refractive index surrounded by a cladding of slightly lower refractive index. The core diameter is of the order of 50 to 100 micrometer, which is very large as compared to the wavelength of the light. A single mode step index fiber has a very fine thin core of diameter of 8 micrometer to 12 micrometer. The core is surrounded by a thick cladding of lower refractive index. The refractive index of the core abruptly changes at the core cladding boundary. In graded index fiber, the refractive index in the core decreases continuously in a nearly parabolic manner over the diameter. It has a maximum value at the center of the core and decreases gradually towards the core cladding boundary. The refractive index of the cladding is constant. A graded index fiber is a multimode fiber and therefore it is called multimode graded index fiber. The size of the multimode graded index fiber is about same as step index fiber with core diameter of 50 to 100 micrometer. Thus, practically there are three types of optical fibers: multimode step index fiber, single mode or monomode step index fiber, and multimode graded index fiber. Here we mention the mode. Now, what does it mean? In ray theory of light, the mode of an optical fiber is nothing but the pattern of how light propagates inside it. In simple terms, these modes can be visualized as the possible number of paths of light through the fiber. When we say multimode in regards to fiber optics, it means that there are multiple paths that light can take within the fiber. The core of a multimode fiber is large enough to allow multiple paths, that is multiple mode. Single mode means the core of the fiber is so small that there is no space to bounce the light around. Now it will be cleared more if we observe the propagation of the light through different types of fiber. Now when you observe the propagation of light through multimode step index fiber, the light rays falling on the in face of the core of the fiber at angles of incidence within the acceptance angle are guided along the core in different paths. The light rays of different colors or frequencies are also separated as they travel inside the core. Thus, multimode propagation is possible in the fiber. The path length along the axis of the fiber is shorter while the other zigzag paths are longer. Because of this difference, the lower order modes reach the end of the fiber earlier while the high order mode reaches after some time delay. The light travels in single mode step index fiber along a single path, that is along the axis. Obviously, it is the zero order mode that is supported by single mode step index fiber. It has a small numerical aperture. In case of graded index fiber, when light rays fall on the in face of the core of the fiber at angles of incidence within the acceptance angle, the individual light rays traveling in different paths are gradually refracted in the core itself. The paths are curved due to continuous refraction of the rays for gradual decrease of refractive index. The waves propagating at different angles of incidence travel different distances from the central axis before suffering reflection to recross the central axis. Light rays with large angle of incidence traverse longer paths, but they travel in a region of lower refractive index and hence at a higher speed of propagation. Consequently, all the rays traveling through the fiber, irrespective of their mode of travel, will have almost the same path length and reach the output end of the fiber at the same time. In an optical fiber communication system, the information are transferred as light pulses through the fiber. The light pulses are of given weight, amplitude and time interval. As the optical pulses travel the length of the fiber, they are broadened or lengthened in time because the different rays propagating through the fiber take different time. Because of this, the pulses eventually will become so out of step that they begin to overlap each other and corrupt the data. This phenomenon is known as distortion or pulse dispersion. Dispersion is one of the factors that limits the bandwidth of the fiber link along with the bandwidth of the transmitter source. Intermodal dispersion is the main contributor to dispersion into step index multimode fibers. Let us discuss its details. The intermodal dispersion occurs due to different group velocities of different modes. To understand it, we consider a pulse through a multimode fiber and we use ray theory. The power associated with the single pulse gets distributed into the various modes or paths guided by the fiber. The rays incident with large angle reflected at larger angles. These lower order modes travel a longer distance than the rays incident at small angle, that is higher order modes. The path length along the axis of the fiber is shortest while that of other paths are longer. Because of this difference, the lower order modes reach the destination earlier while the higher order modes reach after some time delay. As a result, light pulses burden as they travel down the fiber and causing signal distortion. The output pulses no longer resemble the input pulses. This type of distortion is known as intermodal or simply modal dispersion. This imposes limitation on the separation between successive pulse and thereby reduces the transmission rate and capacity. Mathematically, we can show that the total time delay due to modal dispersion in step index fiber is delta t equal to L by twice N2C numerical aperture square. Here L is the length of the fiber. Thus, the time delay is proportional to the square of the value of the numerical aperture. This dispersion arises even when light that is launched into the fiber is strictly monochromatic. The graded index fiber is therefore used to minimize this distortion. Besides this type of dispersion, other two principal dispersions which causes burdening of output pulses are chromatic dispersion and waveguide dispersion. Different wavelengths travel at different velocities down the fiber. The longer wavelength travel faster and shorter wavelength travel slower. Thus, at the destination, they will not meet at the same time and produces chromatic dispersion. The another type of dispersion is waveguide dispersion. This minor cause for dispersion is due to the geometry of the fiber and results in different propagation velocities for each of the modes. Now we see different advantages of optical fiber communications. Number one, optical fibers are light in weight, smaller in size and flexible. Second, since they are made from naturally available silica, therefore it is cost effective. It is very strong. Fiber can withstand environmental hazards and have longer life. Fiber optics are immune to electromagnetic interference and they emit no radiation themselves to cause other interference. Electrical noise does not exist in case of fiber communication. The speed of transmission is very fast because here the signals are carried by light. Wider bandwidth, optical fiber can carry large number of information simultaneously. No crosstalk. There is virtually no signal leakage from the optical fibers and hence there are no possibility of crosstalk. Low attenuation. The attenuation of signals in optical fiber is very less. Low power loss. The transmission loss per unit length of optical fiber is very less as compared with conventional metallic cable. Now I want to mention some applications of optical fiber. The optical fibers which can transfer any information with the help of light have a wide variety of applications in diverse fields. Broadly, it has the following applications. First, in communication. Optical fibers are widely used to carry signals in optical communication due to their unique feature viz. Large channel capacity, wide bandwidth, good electrical isolation, no crosstalk, etc. No crosstalk, etc. Nowadays, telephone, television, satellite and computer links of advanced digital communication system rely heavily on fiber optics technology. Next one, in illumination and short distance image transmission. Optical fibers are applied to carry light to the display unit and to illuminate dials when measuring instruments are used in dim light. It has medical applications. Optical fiber is used in medical diagnostic as well as in medical procedure. The fiber optic endoscope is employed to make observations of internal organs for diagnostic purposes. Laser light guided by optical fiber, which is known as ophthalmoscope, is used in retina therapy. Also, optical fiber is used in bloodless surgery, cardiac treatment, and cancer treatment. The optical fiber are used as a sensor to measure physical and chemical parameters. Some fiber optic sensors are temperature sensors, intensity modulated sensor, phase modulated sensor, displacement sensor, force sensor, liquid level detector, rotation sensor, current sensor, chemical sensor, etc. And this is all about the topic. Thank you.